What is going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back with a brand new Let's Play of a very short game that I like to do in between the major Let's Plays while I'm deciding on the next game to play. Same thing with milk inside a bag of milk inside a bag of milk. And today's game is Backspace, Backspace, Backspace. A kind of visual novel alike milk inside a bag of milk inside a bag of milk that seems very interesting. And the very unique thing about this game is I did not find it on my own. The people that made it, Blue Tango Streets, actually came into contact with me and, asked me to, check out the game for myself. And so I checked it out, and they graciously were great enough to actually hand me a key for this game so I could play it for free. Which, thank you very much for the opportunity for giving this game to me for free. Just thank you very much for that. And by the way, I'm not going to be biased or anything like that. If you're worried about that, no. What my thoughts are going to be actually genuine about what this game is about. It seems like there's two different endings for this game, and I'm just going to play all of it like in this one video. So hopefully you guys are able to enjoy this game, which I really don't know much about. I didn't really look at it too much. I just saw the store page, and I'm very curious. And considering this very empty menu, it's already interesting to me. So let's check out the offers note first of all. Let's see here. I wrote the story for this game over the course of 2 days. I then shifted my attention to making Backspace soundtrack and art, two skills at which I am a complete novice. Despite my artistic illiteracy, I still had a great time learning and implementing what I learned over the course of 1 week. That was Backspace's entire purpose, a reason to start picking up the artistic skills I always thought I was too old to learn. I still have a long way to go, but I'm still glad I took the first step. If you can't relate or empathize with blank, it's okay. Like any game, Backspace is not meant for everyone, nor do I think it was meant to solve any existing worldwide problem. Backspace's story is simply the culmination of countless conversations I've had with my friends over the last 2 years, many of whom come from art or writing backgrounds. It is an amalgam of all of their fears and aspirations. I'm sure you have some of your own as well. If you disagree with the game's message, good. It's always important to keep in mind that fictional characters, much like us, can strongly hold on to their wrong ideas or worldviews. However, it is equally important when confronted with such disagreeable ideas, especially if the truth matters to us, to ask ourselves what can lead someone to such a point in life. I won't end my rambling here for fear of this message exceeding the word count of the actual game. Now that would be embarrassing. I have not felt so much joy creating something new in years. I hope you enjoy the game as much as I've enjoyed making it. Quill Cannon. Okay, interesting. So, let's get right into it. Ooh. Alright. All I know about this game is that you're a writer. And that you have trouble making a story. I'm pretty sure that's all I know. I read the warning. My role model made it clear what I was getting myself into. Following those humble footprints, left behind by a literary giant. Writing a book is a horrible, exhausting struggle, like a long bout of some painful illness. And so, I writhed terminally. My eyes have been glued to my monitor at this exact window since 5:30. Well, that's not entirely true. I occasionally looked at my phone or at nothing particular. An escape from an escape. I set out to make, but I consume. I self-mummify. I just sit and stare. Just blinking over and over. What is wrong with me? This word count is pitiful. To say nothing of the quality. hanging on like a hopeful week-old post-it? Really? I've been racking my head trying to squeeze out this idea. It was so clear in my mind. And this is all I've got? AI could have done this in seconds, probably better. Right? Ooh. Okay, I see the 2 lads we can take here. Ooh, I like this music. It's very much, GBA inspired. It was mentioned in the story page. It's very much inspired by GBA art. But this music, it's nice. It's very soothing. AI still got lots to go, right? AI gets things wrong all the time. And the more it makes, the more it struggles to stay cohesive. But my friend on Discord, he said he pumped out a novel in 29 days. A whole novel. That's 80,000 words, give or take. He's got a publisher and everything, too. Meanwhile, pathetic. Why am I doing this? Why am I subjecting myself to this? I could have been anything by now. I could have been a code monkey. An artist. Yes, painting entire worlds for all to see. Concepts, landscapes, telling a story with visual cues, not with words. Meaningless, swiftly words. I had to choose the worst skill to work on. Right? Really? Who was I kidding? Sure, I could start practicing a different skill. Those who already excel at them always say that. It's not too late to start learning, they repeat religiously. They're probably right. But why does that phrase feel like such a bold-faced lie? It gives me the impression of a gleaming athlete patting the disabled kid on the back, or like a stick thrown for a dog to fetch over and over, with a happy drooling face, accomplishing nothing. Am I making sense? It's not nothing. Oh. I suppose dogs do bring us joy. And running isn't meaningless. Endorphins and all that. But, I mean, think about it. What could I hope to achieve by starting a new hobby now? I've already put too many eggs in this basket. You can't fish for sepulchre and awake ages are dry. Sepulchre. It's one of those words, you know? The word you feel so self-assured you know it. It makes perfect sense in your head. But when asked to define it, you blank out. You, or make up something vague and hope they buy it. Words like vicarious, like sheepish, like idiosyncrasy. Did I pick this up from somewhere? I think it meant something like odd behavior. I know a thing or two about those then. Stop speaking in metaphors, you idiot. You're not in a book. How do they do it? I know exactly what I want to happen. It is right there. My story. My thought. No. Calling it a thought is an insult to human cognition. I might as well be a painter of 10 broken fingers. Pink and grotesque like whole fermented pigs. This brain whirlpool is suffocating me. I need to go for a walk. Anything but this. Went away, you always do. I'll go with the kind. Might as well. This is it. The walk that will bring it all around. Whoa. What the hell is that? Hi, Mom. I'm going out. No, just around the block. But I don't have any money. Fine. Okay. I love you too. I'm leaving now. Huh. Finished Act 1. Interesting. To reject the mother like that. I know I'm comparing this to milk inside a bag of milk inside a bag of milk, but I feel like the comparisons are very much evident here, even though this is a very different style compared to milk inside a bag of milk. But the writing, the choosing the choices, it definitely feels very inspired from it. And I wonder if this is the protagonist's vision of their mother, a kind of grotesque beast that, I don't know, that just sits around all day and, you say the old words, but the protagonist doesn't really recognize their mother anymore. Maybe it's something to that effect, I don't know. The streetlights are out again. I can't believe she wants me to buy dairy now of all the times of day. Well, speaking of milk. For a second, I thought it was too important to buy grocery. Where do I get off thinking like that? Historically, children were made solely to work. That ancient history even. Imagine me having to hoe half my weight. No, my two greatest concerns are going on an errand, and that I can't write to save my life. It's hard to imagine sometimes. Our ancestors. You getting... Our ancestors. Yes. Generation after another. Barely scraping by. Dying at 20. Then again, people wrote back then too, right? Surely a privileged skill at the time, but I guess they died so I could write. Then again. Whoa. That passerby. The man with the hat. I think he just looked at me. Did he look at me? Is something wrong with how I look? My face. I know. He probably thinks he's better than me. I bet he compared himself to me and then looked away because he saw enough to think he was better. But if he knew me, he'd think differently, wouldn't he? He doesn't know. He doesn't know! He's not better than me. I have so much going for me. Who does he think he is? He has no clue that I... Wait. Did he think... No. That could take him. Put me in a room with him. I wouldn't even need a weapon. Why do I care what he thinks? Not only did I care, I swelled from within. No more than a few milliseconds of eye contact. Likely unintentional too. With someone I will almost certainly not come across a second time. And yet, for a moment that felt like an hour-long debate, where I had to prove incontrovertibly my value as a human being. It was the briefest glance to someone I don't know and never will. I argued with myself and lost. he's gone now. You're right. But I don't imagine everyone has to deal with this. Certainly not every time they're outside. Ever since AI took over production lines in most jobs, people had far less reason to go out to study or work, and being naturally inclined towards laziness, human socialization was reduced to texting for the most part. No one hangs out. This eroded social skills to a point where people forgot how to say hi. Not that I was a social butterfly before, but to think I've become such a recluse, such that a stranger would make my adrenaline pump like a faucet. I read about it somewhere. Being looked in the eye unnerves animals of all sizes. Somewhere in our genetics eons ago, eye contact became the universal sign of danger. It meant you were being stalked, a predation candidate, soon to be shredded alive. But somewhere along the way, we decided that eye contact is not even bad. It's required, a polite gesture showing attentiveness. Maybe it means you are careful, I suppose. Yeah, it is pretty late. They ought to fix those streetlights. I'm not going to the groceries just yet. I have to go there first. My second birthplace. Ooh. It's just reinforcing the idea that the protagonist has such esteem issues, you know? Even seeing another person, he thinks of how they think of him, you know? He thinks of others when he's trying to write a story of comparing himself to people that are able to write much faster than him, that have publishers, that have so much more than him, and yet he spends his days doing this hobby of writing, you know? I dwelt in marble halls and came to find it true. I wasn't born for a time like this. Was Jones? Was Smith? Were you? Ooh. Finish Act 2. I wonder what that meant. Long ago, something terrible was unearthed. The being of unimaginable power fueled solely by hate. It was called many things. Monster. Operation. The great and unfathomable evil. It was let out into the world to hate and bring ruin. The more it saw, the more it hated. The more it hated, the stronger it grew. All attempts at stopping it failed. Even trying to outlive it. It outaged them. Hate drove it to outpace even Father Time. In everything it came across, it turned into rubble, or mincemeat, until it met an unhateable person. Someone so kind they were wholly impossible to loathe. The hate-fueled being could not bring itself to cause the person harm. And the person, in turn, found the thought of hurting it unthinkable, even if it meant saving others. It was a totally unplanned stalemate. A stalemate that allowed the hate-fueled being for once to feel love. The hate-fueled being and the unhateable person loved each other, probably more than any two souls ever have. How come, one might think? Perhaps because the hate-fueled being knew how deep the hate pit can be, giving it a one-of-a-kind spectrum of emotion. Or perhaps the unhateable person was just worth it. But the hate-fueled being, by definition, could not continue to be. And so the hate-fueled being died after having finally, truly lived. Or so my story was supposed to go. If I ever managed to write it. Hey, which of the two do you think I am? The hate-fueled being, the unhateable person? That's an interesting question. I mean, that's the thing. There isn't somebody that is completely filled with hate, nor is there somebody that is completely, utterly unhateable in the world. That's just not who we are. Sure, we can create characters of those. We can create monsters filled with hatred and vitriol against humanity, such as, let's say, Godzilla, an icon of the dangers of nuclear destruction. A giant T-Rex radiated by the nuclear bombs. A creature full of such hate. Yet, in many movies of Godzilla's, he is the hero. You know? It's interesting how Godzilla evolved. But I'm getting sidetracked. But I think the easiest question is this. You were both at once. How? That's a bit paradoxical, isn't it? Well, isn't humans paradoxical? Humans are filled with such contradictions. You're silly. The truth is, I envy them both. Power, love. In the end, we all fight for one or both. And most of us pass away having ended up with neither. In one sentence, I described my story to an AI model. It filled the screen in seconds. I had to scroll for a whole minute to see the end. The result was disjointed. A bit unwieldy, like a monkey with a gun. But it was more text than I've ever written put together. It used vocabulary I'd never have thought of myself. In a structure that makes so much more sense. Maybe a discerning reader can tell the difference. But there are enough AI-made publications out there that actually sell to put off most sound-minded people off the platform. This is a sinking vessel, and everyone else is jumping ship. Long ago, I used to come here to read, or when I wanted to feel safe. Every other day or so, I told my mom that I went to school, but I hid here the whole time, making sure I was back by the time school was over, wearing my backpack and my fakest smile. Thinking back now, it was a miracle that I managed to get past high school. But only when hiding did I ever feel safe being myself. That is most likely how rodents feel at all times. I do not mean to pity myself, but everyone walks like life. To them, weighs like a feather. But to me, it crushes me. Life pins a pillow to my face so firmly and I never run out of breath. Please, can nothing ever make it stop? The only thing worse than suffocating is not being able to die from it. What is left for me to do? My only means of self-expression fails me. Or maybe I failed it. What am I? A writer like any other. A waste of skin. You are you. What? I didn't see that coming. I was told once. Remember when you struggle. Your suffering is yours, but it's not unique. Suffering is suffering. We all deserve some degree of sympathy. And I suppose knowing others are buttering for your wife like I am makes me feel a bit less incompetent. I don't suppose this is Schadenfreude. I do not owe life an excuse to continue being in it. Do I? There. I do it at all. Maybe this time will be different. Ooh, nice upbeat music. Maybe this time I can read it without cringing at myself. I've been there. And even if I do, I could always sit here and stare and hope the thoughts materialize on their own. Like upending a jigsaw puzzle, hoping it solves itself. We have a terrible inclination to relate very strongly to catchy, quotable lines. Short and punchy like a gotcha aimed at the universe. We pass them, wear them, then tell them to others like a boring gospel. Like moths to a lit candle, we gravitate and blind ourselves. We are not perfectly hewn swats waiting for the right advice to fit in. What works for someone may sound catchy to others, but it could be just another truth-shaped lie to accept. A square peg trying to fit in a round soul. Writing a book is a horrible, exhausting struggle. Like a long bout of some painful illness. But does it have to be? I think I've outgrown quotes. I'm just glad I can make something I can call my own. Aw, writer ending. Discover the joy in creating something new. Ending 1. Wow. Well, I got one ending. I have to say, it was very interesting. I like the art and the music. Nice, just very nice, teen music. But at least the first ending I got was the writer finally getting confidence within himself and realizing that not to stick to quotes all the time, like sometimes it's like the only way to make great art is to suffer for it, which it's not true. It's more like every struggling creative soul all. But what was I saying? But the whole struggling artist makes the greatest art. It's more of a observation than really a fact, really. Sure, people who struggle through while making art tend to bare their soul. That's basically what struggling artists do, is that they completely and utterly bare their soul to the world. And that's why people will gravitate towards them. People gravitate towards stories that are uniquely their own, Let's see if I can... Okay, I got this. Oh, there we go. Oh, I wonder if this is going to be filled in. Or maybe the thing was glitched. But, okay, that was an... Okay. Okay, let's try to get the other endings then, shall we? Should I finish my font? But yeah, just first impressions, really. AI, huh? AI is a problem. It is going to become a problem the more and more it advances and creating, art, images, and all that. Personally, I hate it. Really, like more companies are going to be using AI. I mean, hell, there was a recent Coca-Cola commercial that was completely made with AI, and it's sad. It really is sad to see because we're gonna. I don't know. It feels like in the future, more companies are just going to turn towards it because it's more cost effective, right? I mean, they're businesses, right? But like, AI isn't human. Art cannot just be made with code. It can't be made with just pure like because an AI looked through an entire database of inspirations, right? And all of that. While humans, they're inspired by their stories. Every single writer, artist, something, they are able to be inspired by something and able to put it to paper or to, sculpture, able to write it down. That's why we connect to stories so much because it's a heightened reality of a certain experience, be it a singular person's or a very general experience to many people, such as love. Like I'll just point to a couple of stories. Yume Neko, it's inspired by fucking mystery stories. It wears its inspirations on its sleeve, yet it's totally different from any other mystery story I've ever read, and it was able to do that because it knew its source material, its inspirations, and able to transform it into something completely new. That's what I like about art, or hell, mediums in general. Mediums reference each other all the time. I mean, for example, like there's reference shots in many different movies, but one off the top of my head is the Akira bike slide, and posed in many animations, right? And sure, it is just there for cool reference of like, oh, it's Akira, but it's a very iconic shot because Akira is a goddamn masterpiece in animation of just hand drawn animation, and the reason why people reference it so much in their own works is because well they were inspired by it and they want to reference it for those same shots. Not like completely copy it, just merely take that same shot and transform it into their own, which I always love. I mean, hell, the thing I'm doing right now is, let's playing is I'm taking something somebody else created and putting my voice in it, transforming it into something else, transforming it into this video. Another thing is the writer's thoughts about struggling and comparing themselves to other people, which hey, I've been through that too. I've honestly been like, sometimes some days I'm like, jeez, I wish I had 1,000 subscribers. I wish I was like more popular and all that. I just do. It's just human nature to compare myself to others and wishing to be like them. But I've accepted what I am, who I am, and what type of games I play, which is entirely my own, in my opinion. Like, I feel like the selection of games I play is completely different from anyone else's, and I take such joy in that. Take such joy in playing these little lesser known games and seeing other people enjoy them as well. But anyway, enough of that tangent. Let's try to get the other two endings, I guess. Or maybe second ending, but let's see. Okay. Okay, I can just go through all this. Let's hope I don't click on a choice by accident. Okay, I'm gonna take the other way out. Oh shit. Okay. Okay, good. It stops. Wait. It puts yours to shame. You really think so? I mean, it became hard to tell, didn't it? Even AI detection tools struggle to catch up. But my friend and... Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh. Let's go with in a band. Yeah, selling records, making tunes. Appreciable across lingual boundaries. Not like words. Alright. Yeah, this is just a couple of changes to the text. Okay. Losing it, huh? I am? Oh god, I must be. What could I hope to achieve by staring at a new Harvey now? Okay. Let's go with another word, like abject. I know abject. Wretched, miserable, without hope. Like, stop speaking in metaphors. Okay. Let's keep going through this. Went away. You always do. Oh god. It keeps happening. A voice batters me, like having an abusive parental figure, but ever present, watching my skull following me everywhere, eating away at me. I can't. Oh shit. Please let me out. "25 years later." Oh shit, what is this? Spark of creativity was snuffed out. Worked. Bred. Retired. And all the while, not an iota of passion remained. A limp existence. Why make? Consumption is so much easier. Was doomed to a fate worse than death. Squandering the brief wink into consciousness we are granted. Do not fear death. You do not recall the epochs of history before your birth, and you will not witness the epochs after your passing. Death is simply missing out. Knowing that, how is life any different? Full-time job ending. Ooh. Be doomed to a grave wrote lifetime. Okay. Interesting. So that is the second ending, completely devoid of passion and reluctant, or pretty much forced by your own self-doubt and consciousness into a lifetime of pure normalcy. Okay. Now let us check out the other ending. The more I listen to this music, it's so... I don't know how to describe it. It's very just soothing. It honestly is. It's kind of... It's a bit haunting, but to me, anyways, it's very hauntingly soothing. I guess if that's a word to put, you know. That's very interesting. Also, I enjoy the very pixelated art as well. It gives off like a lot of blue, like reminds me of like early morning, you know, that kind of thing of staying up until you see the sun come up, which I do a lot. I honestly do quite a bit. I see the sun more times than probably the average person. And as I look at my monitor as well, just unblinking and such. A code monkey. Ooh. Buy into the fantasy that coding is lucrative. It is not. Exactly. Rolling in dough, changing the world, taking advantage of the generational revolution. Not wasting my time on words. Sophism. Where did I learn this from? It means to believe you're the only thing that is real. Ah. Right? Okay. Story of the thought. Okay. Might as well. So what does the mom represent? I'm going to put my theory out here. Maybe the mother is supposed to... It could represent a lot of things. Here's my own personal interpretation. The writer wants to create something. He wants to. He needs to make something. He has that drive for it. And his mother was always normal. She drove a very normal life. And he never, realizes until, eventually here of, how he views normalcy, just pure consumption. How he sees his mother as this beast that swears her words. No, that doesn't even swear words. That barely even is able to communicate. Just simple phrases over and over that he's probably heard 1,000 times by this point. He doesn't see her as a human anymore because she has no drive, no passion, just simply glued to a couch or a bed for days and days on end as she continues her same life over and over, the cycle over and over repeating. He sees her as a beast, a monster that does nothing but consume and consume and consume. At least that's my interpretation of it, of how the writer will interpret his own mother. Or it could be a representation of an abusive parental figure as well. It could be that, and how when he's much older, well, we don't exactly know his age, but I'm gonna say like early 20s probably, just due to how he speaks and all that. It could be an abusive parental figure who's addicted to a substance, like alcohol, drugs, you name it, whatever, and that she all she does all day is get high and just sits on the couch and just rots away, pretty much. It can be interpreted a number of different ways, definitely. But those are my two main, interpretations. Alright. You getting anywhere? Maybe I'm not cut out to even buy groceries. Then again... Okay. There goes the Hat Man. He's probably the smiling man. You're subhuman. That wouldn't be too far from the truth, would it? Eat the... Okay. Alright, so don't go too much into that, or else you get that, yeah. I pity you. I still wonder what this means. It's probably a literary reference that I don't get. I need to look up that quote later. Smith and Jones. Let's go with the hate-fueled being. I thought you might say that. The thing is, I am hateful. But when I ask myself, hate what? I realize that I hate, but nothing in particular. I am certain that is no healthy way to live. It's just like the hate fueled being, I can't help myself. In one sentence, I described my story to. Okay. How about we go with a waste? But what if we get that second ending again? You know what? I'll go for it. A waste of skin. I know. I always knew. Yeah, okay. Okay, now let's go with the unhateable person. Really? I never related to that character. Maybe being loved by all isn't so bad. Or at least having everyone being different to me. Yeah, I take that. A wider, like any other. I did read somewhere that most of them are miserable. Perhaps that bodes well for me, huh? I do not owe life an excuse to continue being in it. Do I? I wonder, let me check the achievement list, because that usually clues me in on something. I see. Okay, that's clever. Okay, I never would have thought about this, but there's a guide on the Steam community thing, and it's actually very clever. I would have never actually thought about this. Oh. We didn't mean it brutally. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Okay, yep. And I think I've gotten, I've gotten every achievement. And, yeah, that has been Backspace, Backspace, Backspace. A story about struggle. Now, to be brutally honest with you, from the little description, the little blurb on the story page, I thought this was going to be all about AI, and how it affects specifically writers. But that isn't the case here. What AI is used here is simply another thing that's bringing down the protagonist. It's not the main thing, but it's one big thing that brings down the protagonist's self-confidence within themselves. It's merely used as a kind of a device to really use to really show the struggle of a well. It really shows us how creative people struggle through their work, how they have such self-doubt in it, and that AI just simply drives that point home even more. But in the end, the best possible ending is the protagonist able to relight that fire underneath himself, that he's able to, well, I'm just saying it's never really stated what his gender is, and I think it's unpurposeful to leave the main character's gender ambiguous, to self-insert yourself. But anyway, besides the point, it's I enjoyed it. This was a nice little womp, and I like its message. It's a good message of like, you're not the only person struggling through creative process. It isn't, your struggles aren't, you're not the only person worried about AI or comparing yourself to others. Many, many artists have done that in the past and will in the future. It's just simply a fact of life. Yeah, this very, very good. It's good art, and I enjoyed the little, simple music, which really complemented. I have to say, it very much complements the whole game itself. And I have to say, this is I wish more people would, play this. Actually, like I feel like it is on the same level as milk inside a bag of milk inside a bag of milk. Uh, like with that game, which was very simple, just a screen, some dialogue about a girl trying to get milk from the grocery store. This one is the same with just it's a very simple, poignant story. One's about a girl trying to get over her social anxiety and how she, discredits herself every moment of the way, versus this, which is about a creative writer trying to continue on writing, you know. And those two things are very human. Like if you were going to do like a going to play two games back to back, I feel like these two games are actually very they complement each other very fucking nicely. Like these are very complimentary like games. Like I would definitely play these back to back in order to like I don't know, see like two very human uh thoughts. The writing I enjoyed as well. It very much conveyed as a stream of consciousness. As you're walking down the street, seeing a person walk at you, you have all these thoughts. You having self doubt about whatever creative output you're putting into, and same with milk inside a bag of milk. It presents whatever little people you see in it as these kind of grotesque body horror like monsters. But yeah, I have to say, I am glad I was informed about this by once again Blue Tango Street. Thank you very much for informing me about this game, and hopefully they're able to put out even more like this because I look forward to it. Honestly, I really do. But yeah. Anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, hit the like button. I tell me something, put it down in the comments below. Check out the Discord server hang out in, or my Twitter, check description below. And yeah, this has been Voidlego. I'll see you guys in the next Let's Play. See ya!